Stay absinthe is like drinking a cool breeze. Just don't go spitting needles everywhere.
Hey guys, it's Parker here, back with part 3 of Bastion. So I just realized that you can turn on the subtitles in the menu section.
The next shard
I just didn't realize that until I saw the menu. So yeah, let's continue on. This is just a proving grounds. Okay, Point Lemaign. Shard detected somewhere inside the city's largest outpost in the wild unknown.
Know how Calamity became the richest city in the world? 2 words. Point Lemaign. If the wilds could ever be tamed, it was gonna happen right here. But now, the greatest outpost past the city line is nothing but a freak show. The army's triggers once had the place on lockdown. Kid might as well pick up where they left off. Blam, just like my fighting days. Gun like that can even put the wilds in check. Point Lemaign seen better days for sure, but it ain't done. Whole place shudders in a fit. The grand rail of Point Lemaign. Not only is it still there, it still works. Of course, it's no longer shipping hides and alloys and spices, but it can give the kid a lift. Just as long as he can stay clear of the trouble on the tracks. All grown over the things the Calamity chewed up and spat out. Things eager to take back their turf. Settled in like they own the place. Of course, the Grand Rails see much more fighting in bygone times. Near on 50 years ago, first shots fired in the Ura Uprising War. It was right here that Zolf's Ura forefathers decided to mix it up. Okay, so maybe we didn't get their sign-off on the whole Grand Rail thing. That was bad. Not much wiggle room up there near the rail. The rail must have shook the Ura to the bone down in those dens of theirs. Well, the rail won't last much longer now that the kid took the shard. It's still got one good run in store for me. All the rotten wood there on the rails turning into swamp weed central. Ever tried dancing side to side while holding your breath? While choking on swamp weed? While peckers trying to prick you in the eye? Well, let me tell you, it ain't fun. But then at last, it's the end of the line. They'll be picking swamp weed out of those boots for days.
Maybe I should upgrade my weapons after this is
Turns
over.
out he's got company at the rail station waiting for him. Not just another wallflower, pincushion, mind you. At first he thinks it's Zulf. Turns out he's wrong. This is for you, says the man. Then wham. When the kid comes to, the man's long gone. But something else is there.
A letter addressed to Zia. It appears to be written by Zolf, who must have found another Ura survivor to deliver the message. Maybe Zolf taught Zia enough of their language to be able to read this.
Well, what's a kid to do? He took the shard. He took the hit. And that note. That note cuts straight to the heart of things, don't it?
What you do for food back when you're living on Prosper Bluff?
Finding gourmet ingredients ain't easy these days, but we'll take what we can get.
Can you read this? It's addressed to you.
The note says it plain. Zia, go east to learn the truth about the Calamity and our people. I'll be waiting. Sincerely, Zulf.
It's not for Zia. Isn't this Zolf's handwriting?
Zulf's messenger was one of his people. Wonder just how many of them survived, and what exactly Zulf told him. It ain't too late to unlock the potential of this place. Ain't saying much, but that's the greatest forge in all the city. The shards are getting harder to find.
Shard detected Colford Cauldron. Here it simmers in this unstable area, which once pierced to the heart of the world.
Not everything blew up in the Calamity. why Colford Cauldron here blew up way ahead of its time. The cauldron boiled over some 3 years ago. They say it filled the skies with ash and the lakes with molten rock. If you wanted to survive something like that, you had to learn to adapt. So in a way, the beasts of the wilds, they're all survivors too. It takes a certain stubborn pride to keep on living in a place like this. As for us, we learned an awful lot from Colford Cauldron. That learning led to some interesting inventions. The raw power of the world fell right into our hands.
Okay, this flamethrower is pretty great.
Playing with the cauldron's fires became an addiction. Sure, we dusted off a good many secrets out here. But we discovered other things we're better off not knowing. The taste of air is so hot it sticks to your lungs. Sorts of awful things crawling underfoot. You can cook those things, but you can't eat them. Thought we'd find so much life in all that ash. The more ash we swept aside, the more life we found. Place as inhospitable as they come. Still, we pressed on. After all, when we looked down inside Colford Cauldron, looked down through all the smoke and flames, we saw in there the heart of the world, the heart now laid bare by the Calamity. We had to have it. As for the kid, he just has to get that shard out of there. Too bad taking that thing woke up every last stink eye from here to Charleston Bar. Luckily, the cauldron cooked up a little shortcut for him. Sure, it ain't the most convenient path. Biggest stink eye he's ever seen is waiting for him on the other side. Where there's one stink eye, there's always more. Well, it ain't polite to stare. Cauldron's tenants all gather up to bid the kid a fond farewell. Kid don't shed any tears for him, though. With a good spyglass, you can still see the cauldron from the city, but all the fires died out. There's nothing left of it. It comes back looking like the inside of a chimney.
Do you know this egg's supposed to be making a muffled chirping sound?
We're all a little short on friends these days, so that's a welcome sight.
Those birds can breed just about anywhere, can't they?
They said the wild could never be tamed. If only they could see us now. The shard works like a charm. You can hear the monument's heartbeat again. We need an awful big lost and found under the circumstances. Ever see a kid with a musket and a fire bellows? Bit of a disturbing sight. Kid arrives just in time to sample Zia's famous cooking. He wolfs down too much too fast, and it all goes to his head. I've said a lot about the kid, but he ain't the only one wrapped up in all this. What's he thinking? Let me see if I got this straight. I only heard it once. Once there was a normal Ura girl, but wasn't born in the tassel terminals like the rest of her people. She was from Calamity. Her folks were orphaned in the war, taken in and raised inside the city, on condition they would never return to the terminals. Ura refugees who came into the city had to stay for life. It was a way to reduce the risk of city secrets leaking out. Mama passed away from birthing complications, leaving the girl trapped inside that city with no one but her father. Sharper than a brusher's pike, so he got a job working for the city's mancers. His daughter barely saw him. Her father told her nothing of her Ura heritage. He told her nothing of the Mancers. It's for your own good, he said. She took to studying the arts, learned more through music than history books, gained a knack for strings and songs. First, she tried to be like other girls, but her classmates spread word that her father was an Ura trader, selling out the city. One young man stood up for her, or so he led her to believe. He knew much of her heritage, and she grew fond of him. Take him to a family den to meet her father. Spoke of how he wanted to meet a man from the terminals. When the young man greeted her father in the Ura's native language, her father flew into a fit of rage and threw them out. The young man never told her that the Ura's native language is not to be used by foreigners. To do so is a terrible insult. Lost my train of thought there. It was then that she decided to escape. The two of them could flee the city together and go to the Tassel terminals. They would hide inside a garbage bin until it got ingested by a scumbag, then let him slosh on out of the city for disposal.
Okay, well, I'll get better weapons and try again, I guess. That was pretty tough. Like, the freaking alligators, they were the toughest ones. Mount Sad. It is held beside the remains of a holy mountain once filled with flora and fauna. Okay, let's go there.
Can't rightly call Mount Zand a mountain anymore. There's no more mountains now. There's no place left for the beasts of the wild to go. Those beasts been hoarding all the valuables they could find. We only found that little layer because they found themselves a little shard. The creatures of the wild, they've been building a bastion of their own. Best thing we can do for those beasts right now is put them down quick and clean. There's only one kind of mercy left these days.
Okay, I'm just gonna keep falling, I guess.
What the city left behind, those beasts took for themselves.
A device that generates music using specially engraved discs. Oh. Colombia's musical traditions are grounded in folk songs and soulful melodies. Few traces of those traditions remain.
Look at it this way. It's either them or us. But if we win, they win too. Our Bastion is everybody's game, not just ours. Unfortunately, there's no explaining that to a simple beast. Those beasts been hard at work fixing up the place. They've rounded up their survivors, just like we have. They've been searching for cores and shards, just like we have. Maybe they've thought about turning back, just like we have. We just really need their shard. We got it fair and square. That's the way. He's done what's best for him, don't you worry. Don't you worry. We'll all be better off once the Bastion is complete.
Do you know how to use something like this? Thought you might like it.
Fix that thing right up, didn't we? Made these goings-on a little livelier.
It's alright if you use this here. It's not like the neighbors are going to complain.
Suppose it's true, a little song can put things in perspective. The monument's getting better. Zolf sure did a number on it, though. The memorial may be finished, but our part is far from over. Well, if you can't burn it, you can always blow it to Mother on high, right? Just a couple shards left. The quarry's gotta have one, right? Imagine everything you'd need to build a city like Calamity. It takes hard work and planning, and it also takes Burstone Quarry. The Ura tunnels beneath the quarry must have softened the blow from the Calamity. Same goes for its natives, Rattletails. Why would the Ura put up with those pests? Rattletails ain't the worst of it either, but more about that in a little bit. The quarry came with a lifetime supply of windbags. Windbags smaller than the naked eye can see are nesting in the rocks. Not only are these rocks a source of life, we found that the oldest ones remembers. They're recording everything, all the time, taking it all in. No wonder all those beasts were drawn to the quarry, where rocks were calling them. Keeping the quarry free from pests turned out to be a problem. Rattletails kept tunneling in to snack on windbags. Without those windbags, the quarry might not have its special qualities. Windbags tended to the rocks, so we had to keep the Rattletails at bay. Now, why would the Ura sell off such a fascinating place? The Ura always were a superstitious lot. Odds told him the quarry's bad news. In any case, it's fair to say the quarry was a godsend. Those rocks, all polished to a mirror sheen. The largest ones, you know as cores. A single core could keep the lights on in an entire city district. The smaller ones, we call them shards. The shard's got a fraction of a core's power, enough to fuel a voyage to the motherland. Well, now the quarry's all dried up. These rocks are much too young to be of use. Remember how I said rattletails ain't the worst thing in the quarry? That honor goes to a beast we took to Colin, Sir Lunky. Massive thing stomped many of our boys. We just couldn't get rid of him. The only thing harder than the rocks in Burstone Quarry was Sir Lunky's head. His big fat rum's plenty tough too, but so is the kid. You never could get stubborn old Lunky to leave the quarry alone. Then the kid hears a voice calling from down the hall. "Are you all right?" it says. It's him. "I've come to warn you," he says.
What happened back there between you and Rux?
The Bastion is under siege. Let it fall. You should not go back. Kid hears him, but he ain't about to be deterred. "If that's the way it is," he says, "then I won't stop you. Because my countrymen will." Say what you will about Zulf, but he's a man of his word. His countrymen don't much care for pleasantries, though. Too bad for that. Zulf showed him the way here, and here they came to take revenge. They got inside the Bastion and shut the door. Kid's gotta go in through the back. I should have told him sooner about all this. To make matters worse, seems the Ura took the girl. Unfortunately, they broke in and they started digging their hole. Something wrong sprung out of those holes, and it's eating away in this place. We tried to stop it, but we needed Our baby Pecker. We don't make it. Somehow, some way, he sends those Ura packing. Problem is, it didn't matter. Zolf's plan worked. We find each other as the dust settles. Then I tell him why the Ura came. To get us back. For the Calamity. It was Caelandia's master plan to wipe the Ura out. But part of that plan backfired, didn't it? If only Zolf knew the whole story.
Where is Zia? Did you see what happened to her?
What were we to think? They must have got her, taken her back to her rightful home. The shards can put this disease in remission, but there's only one cure. We need to finish what we started. Seems the gods recommended this place to all their friends. The culture, a still life of old unwanted keepsakes. The mercy, the windbags ain't the only beast that drew a bad lot. The cinders kept the city good and warm, made it thrive. The sanctuary, if we can build, we can rebuild.
Belonging to some ill-fated dust fellow. Why are they flooding the city, ransacking its remains?
The windbags used to be alright, then the Calamity took the floor out from under them.
Only the stars remain on the horizon. The mountains are gone. We're no closer to the stars now, are we?
We could always see the stars. We just never could reach them, no matter how high we built. The Ura swooped down from the east. At least now we know the way.
Soul's agents must also want the final shard, knowing it is key to undoing the harm they cause. Okay, this will be the last stage I go to.
One last shard. It's all we need to put this mess behind us. And mother, what a mess it is. A mess like that could have only been made by hand. Zolf said the Calamity failed, and he's right. The Ura stand as little proof of that. You can't turn back now.
Okay, I just forgot to heal. Forgive me.
At the heart of the Calamity was a simple idea. We never wanted to go to war again. We wanted to rule it out. There were a lot of folks against that round. Scientists, soldiers, spies, even me. Traveled near as far as the kids go right now. Most of our efforts didn't bear fruit. Then there was a breakthrough, but it didn't come from one of our people. came from an Ura, a brilliant young scientist named Ven. Ven worked for the Mancers, the sharpest knives in the city's drawer.
Pass this up.
With his help, the Mancers devised a way to seal the Ura tunnels shut in a flash. Just like that, every last Ura living in the Tassel terminals will be gone. This discovery was never to be used, they said, except as a last resort. But Ven didn't like being manipulated. He had plans of his own. He sabotaged the Mancers' little science project, set it to blow up in their faces. Imagine how Ven must have felt when they finally made him pull that trigger. But remember, the Bastion can fix everything. We just need that shard. Too bad the Ura ain't exactly been willing to collaborate on that front. Choice but to pick up where the Calamity left off. First things first, though. There's someone we figured needed rescuing. Zia. The Ura fell back, no doubt planning the next move, but we knew ours already.
Okay. And that'll be it for part 3 of Bastion. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.